Hello and welcome to your inversion yoga flow. Today we'll be focusing on the headstand. So this is an intermediate level practice and I recommend that if you've not done headstand before, that you're close to a wall in order to try it up against the wall, or if you don't feel confident, please feel free to skip the headstand part and enjoy the rest of today's practice. We'll be starting with a little bit of neck stretches, kind of mobilizing the shoulders into a little bit of a flow, really focusing on firing up the core in order to get into our perfect headstand position, followed by a little bit of chest opening and our lovely shavasana to finish. So hop onto a mat. You won't be needing any equipment, obviously, except for a wall if you need it. And find your seated position. Let's get started. So just starting by keeping the spine nice and tall, gently tucking the chin ever so slightly towards the neck to really lengthen through the back of the head. Just taking a few nice deep breaths. And then gently dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. Getting a little bit of a stretch through the left side of the neck. And then turning the chin towards the chest to increase the stretch through the back of the neck. Inhale, twisting the head back to the front. Exhale, lifting the head up. Inhale in the middle, and then drop left ear to left shoulder, stretching through the right side of the neck, twisting the chin towards the chest. Inhale, twisting back. Exhale, lifting the head up. And then just gently taking some slow half circles with the head, dropping the chin to the chest. Left ear to left shoulder, then rolling it back. Right ear to right shoulder. Doing this a couple more times each way. Just gently mobilize through the neck. Good, lifting that head back up to center. Inhale, reach the arms wide, send the chest towards the sky. Exhale, bring the hands interlinking them in front of you, tucking the chin towards the chest and rounding the spine. Inhale to open the chest. Seated cat and cow. Exhale, round the back. Really reaching the spine backwards. Inhale. Open and expand. Bring those arms behind you. Exhale. Rounding the back, good. Finding center. Right hand towards the mat. Inhale, the left hand to the side. And then exhale, just twisting the spine, turning the torso towards the right side, rounding the back here. And then from this position here, peeling the left arm open, gazing towards the left side and really opening through the left shoulder. Bring the arm long, wide, rounding the back, twisting back to the right. Inhale to open, extending through the spine, gazing towards the left. Exhale to round it back. One more time. Inhale to open. And then exhale, rounding back. Good, coming up through center, left hand to the mat. Right arm out to the side. Twisting the torso towards the left. Rounding the spine and reaching right arm to the corner of the mat. Inhale, peeling the arm back, opening the chest, turning the gaze towards the right. Exhale, bring the arm long and rounding the back. Inhale to peel it open. Exhale to round, getting some luscious movement through the spine and the shoulders here. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Good, coming back to the middle, then bringing yourself round onto all fours. Feet together, knees wide apart. Send the hips back, reach the arms long, finding that child's pose. Bring the forehead to the mat. Think of there being energy through the arms as you reach the fingertips forwards, and send the hips back as far as you can, creating length through the spine. Taking deep breaths into the back. Feel connections through the hands and the legs to the earth here. Inhale. Exhale, coming up onto all fours. Taking a few cat and cow here. So inhale, dropping the chest through the shoulders, gaze towards the sky. Exhale, belly button draws to the spine, tucking the pelvis under, chin to the chest. Inhale, gazing to the sky. Exhale, gazing through those back knees, chin to the chest. One more time, inhale to the sky. Exhale, chin to chest. Keeping the knees under the hips here, and the back nice and flat. Gently begin to walk the hands forwards, lowering the chest down to the earth. Bring the arms towards the mat, extending through the upper back to our puppy pose. You've got the option here to either bring the forehead to the mat or the chin to the mat, dependent on how intense you want the stretch. Trying to make sure that the hips and knees are stacked the entire time. We're not leaning forwards, we're not pushing back like child's pose. This is to aim to get a little bit of opening through the armpits and through the upper back as well. Keep the belly button drawn to the spine, and the lower back should still feel nice and long. You shouldn't be dipping and arching too much. There should be engagement through the core here. Good. Inhale. Exhale, gently bring yourself back up. Send the hips to the feet, open the knees out wide. Reach forwards, child's pose. A few deep breaths here. Stay relaxed in this pose this time. Exhale, bring yourself up onto all fours. Let's find our core. So first thing we want to do is send the knees a little bit further away this time, so our hips are now slightly further forwards than our knees. Bring the elbows down to the mat, have the palms flat against the floor in order to be able to push into the hands and the forearms here. The first thing we want to do to find our plank pose is push up through the shoulder blades, so you will almost feel like you're trying to round the upper back. From here, you want to also draw the belly button to the spine and think of tucking the pelvis under ever so slightly. That way we're going to avoid any of this sort of sinking, because we're going to be pushing through the arms, through the core, tucking the pelvis under. Tuck the toes under at the back, squeeze the glutes, then send the energy through the heels as you extend the legs and lift the knees off the floor. Draw that belly button to the spine, pushing into the hands and the forearms, thinking of pushing the middle of the back up to the sky. Glutes are tight, belly button to spine. Good. 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Drop those knees down. Untuck the toes. Send the knees wide. Hips press back, child's pose. A few breaths here. You should have started to feel a little bit of fire in the belly. Inhale. Exhale. This time just send yourself straight forwards onto those forearms, closing the knees together, tucking the toes under. pushing through the spine, squeezing the glutes, send the heels back, lift those knees off. Let's hold for 3, 2, 1. Now you've got the option to either lower the knees down and push back up onto the hands, or if you're feeling strong enough, to just from here, press up onto our hands, keeping the knees off of the floor. We're now in our high plank. Float that right foot off. Use the core to bring the right knee to the nose. Tucking the pelvis under, inhale. Reach it back, lower the foot down. Repeating with the left. Lift that left leg off. Left knee to the nose, rounding the back, reaching it forwards. Sending the leg back. Lower the foot down. Knees to the ground. Hips reach back. Breathing, finding your relaxing child's pose. Taking nice deep breaths. This time, we're going to find our plank pose on our wrists straight away. So coming up onto all fours, exactly the same principles, tuck those toes under, push through the shoulders, belly button draws the spine, glutes to squeeze, heels shift backwards. Gently bring the feet to the hip distance apart. Inhale, exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downwards facing dog, just for a few moments here. Walk through the feet. Press the hands and the feet into the earth. Inhale, float the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right shoulder. Inhale, exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, exhale, right knee to left wrist. Inhale, exhale, right knee to left shoulder. Inhale, 3-legged dog, sending that right leg back. Exhale, right knee to the floor. Right knee to the floor, right foot to the floor. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee to left shoulder. Inhale, exhale, left knee to left wrist. Inhale, exhale, left knee to right wrist. Inhale, exhale, lift up, right, left knee to right shoulder. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Knees lower down, untuck the toes, send the hips back. Child's pose. Circle the wrists, flick the fingers. Option to just bring the hands to the sides. Relax those shoulders down. Deep, slow breaths. Coming up onto your knees. Hopefully, that's fired up the core. Mobilize the back and the shoulders. We found strength through that torso. So we're going to bring ourselves to our headstand. So now you've got the option to either find a wall, or if you're confident in your headstand, taking it on your mat wherever you are. So let's get set up. Taking opposite elbows with the hands, bringing them down to the floor. Interlinking the fingers together, placing them on the floor too. So the fingers are interlinked. Both fingers are at the bottom there. So we're in this position, so we create a stable base with the 2 little fingers. And then the hands are interlinked in order for our head to sit between our hands. So we find our elbow distance on the floor. We interlink the hands, so we've created a nice stable triangle base. You place the head between the hands, and the first thing you think of is pushing up into the shoulders, finding that activation we found in our plank pose. Exactly the same here. We're resting on top of the head, but it's only lightly touching the floor. From here, tuck the toes under, press into the toes, and lift the hips up towards the sky. Pushing into the shoulders, drawing the belly button to the spine. Gently walk the feet closer to the body so that we feel like we're getting our hips over our head. This position here might be enough for you today to start to feel like we're bringing the hips over the head to create that nice vertical line. Carrying on from this position, you want to start to float. One knee off, and then switching for the other leg off. So you're bending the knees into the bottom. We want to avoid swinging into a headstand with the legs up this way, as that's going to cause us to lose balance in our core. Bending the knees, creating less energy through that body. So gently picking up one foot, lower it down, picking up the other foot, lowering it down. Think of keeping that core nice and tight, pushing through the back the whole time. Our next step is to then lift both feet off, so we find a balance with our knees tucked in and our body in a vertical position before we start to lengthen both of the legs. If you're at the wall, you can do this by coming up and then extending the legs along the wall, so you find that still position, and then gently kind of trying to balance, lifting your feet away from the wall. If you're in the center, let's find that full expression of our headstand now. So lifting both knees. Breathing deeply, and then gently extending the legs towards the sky. Breathing, and then gently taking yourself back down. Give yourself a few minutes here to play with that. Pause the video, try a couple more times, and then we'll find ourselves joined together back in our child's pose. Finding yourself relaxed in your child's pose. Taking some deep breaths here. As you relax the back, keep the hands by the sides. Option to take the hands around the feet, tuck the head closer to the ground, and round up through the spine. Pushing a little bit of weight into the top of the head to really curve and lift through the upper back. Relax it back down and come up nice and slowly to kneeling position. This time walking forward so we're on our knees. We're just going to take a couple rounds of camel to open and stretch out the chest after being in quite a few rounded positions today. So first thing we're going to do is start to do a couple of cat-cows in this position, so rounding the back, and then cactusing the arms and opening the chest, rounding through the spine, cactus and open through the chest. Good, rounding, and then cactus. Good, finding that neutral spine. The first thing we want to do is come up onto the toes at the back so our heels are lifted. Bring both hands to the lower back and think of pressing down in order to lengthen that lower back. Have a gentle squeeze on the glutes. We don't want to grip them really tight here. Just have a gentle squeeze in order to have a little bit of activation. Think of shining the chest up to the sky as you squeeze the elbows together and gently start to lean back. Thinking of extending through the thoracic spine, that upper portion of the back between the shoulder blades. Keeping the belly button drawn to the spine. The pelvic floor lifted. Good. Inhale. Exhale, returning up to neutral. Now you've either got the option to extend a little bit further into the camel now, or take that same pose again. So starting with the hands gently on the lower back, squeezing the elbows together, reaching the upper back towards the sky. If you want to extend into this pose further, start to extend the arms so they reach towards the heels. And then you want to extend through the upper back even more. So think of pushing the hips forward ever so slightly. Keeping the head either in line with the spine or letting it drop back, dependent on what's comfortable for you. Few breaths here. Exhale, gently placing the hands back on the back and using it to gently push yourself up, rounding that spine forwards, coming into that same pose we just did a second ago, sending the top of the head towards the earth, wrapping the hands around the heels, pushing into the upper back. Inhale and exhale, gently untuck the toes, bring the hands coming up and round over to a seated position at the front of our mat. Gently rolling yourself down, hugging the knees into the chest. Wiggling left and right, right and left. Massaging that lower back here. Extending the right leg to the floor. Hugging the left knee to the chest. And then sending it over to the right for a gentle supine twist. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale. And exhale back to center. Switching sides. Hugging that knee into the chest. Exhale, send it across the body. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, bring that right leg back to center. Extending it towards the earth. Turning the palms up towards the sky, relaxing the body down. Mounting the body into the earth and allowing a few minutes for the body to absorb today's practice. Hopefully you felt some fire through the core, energy through the legs, they reach to the sky in that shoulder stand, stability through the arms and the shoulders. Your option to pause the video and stay here for a little bit longer. I hope you enjoyed today's flow. Please remember to like and subscribe down below and leave any little comment you would like. Namaste. Happy yogis.